Hey guys, it's Truconvos. Let's talk.
I'm Enyo.
I'm Aram.
We just want to remind you guys to turn on all post notifications so you don't forget when we upload.
And make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
So let's get into our first segment. Here's the thing. We want to talk about how, as Christians, we should be involved in activism. So I saw a TikTok and it was about this woman. She had just finished watching the film, I think Judas and the Black Messiah. I believe that was the name of the film. And she was just saying how she saw similarities with the group, the Black Panthers, and just with Christianity. You know, they were willing to lay down their lives for their cause. They were willing to help the oppressed. They were willing to do everything in their power to, fight for their people. And she was saying how, with what Jesus has done, it's really surprising how the church, through this social unrest that's been happening in our country, have backed away and have even condemned some of the protests and activist events that have been happening in our country. And we were just talking and we're just like, yeah, we've seen that too. And it just doesn't make sense, because God is about justice. He's about fighting for the poor, fighting for those who don't have anything. So we just want to, express our thoughts on why this is an issue. Like, why does the body of Christ seem to take a back when it comes to social issues?
Also too, as Christians, we should be in the front lines when it comes to activism, because God is all about love. One of the first commandments he said was love your neighbor as you love yourself. Not love your Christian friend, or love only your Black community or your white community or whatever. He said love your neighbor. Your neighbor can be anybody. And as Christians, we need to be the ones to call out when there's hate, because hate is the opposite of love. That's not what we're about. But you have churches that literally condemn that and be like, oh no, the Black Lives Matter movement is just, anti-God and things like that, or any type of activism in general. But in the first place, you haven't even asked them why. Why are you doing this in the first place? Why are you rioting and looting? Why are you so angry? Then you can be like, okay, then let's then address the issue. But you're already judging.
Yeah.
Judging is always judging first before you're addressing the situation, and that shouldn't be it.
Right. They were just so quick to judge and make a projection on them, instead of why are they having this anger towards the government or whatever issue that they're fighting for. I just want to say something, just reference a Bible verse. It's Isaiah 61, verse 1-2. And Jesus spoke these same words when he was reading the Torah at the temple, but it was saying, the Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is upon me, for the Lord has anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He has sent me to comfort the brokenhearted and proclaim that the captives will be released and the prisoners will be freed. He sent me to tell all those who mourn that the time of the Lord's favor has come, and with it the day of the Lord's anger against their enemies. These are the words of the prophet Isaiah, and then Jesus also spoke these words at the temple. Jesus came to fight for the oppressed, to set the captives free. And we like to see this in a salvation sense, and we try to see that in Jesus just came to save us from darkness. And that's true. We were under the bondage of darkness, under the bondage of sin, and he came to set us free. But this also shows the nature of our Father, that our Father, that wherever he sees people bound, wherever he sees people oppressed, he goes there to set them free. So that same heart we should have towards people that we see. Jesus commanded us to love each other, to love people. And you love them, and how you show that love is about being there for them, And it just was really heartbreaking to see the church, just so judgmental towards movements like Black Lives Matter. And it was just hard to see. And the movement, I understand there is some type of, misunderstanding, things about the movement that can be really hard to follow through. But the whole point of it all, you understand the point of it. You understand the point of it is that in the US, there has been evidence of police brutality, of racial injustice, racial violence targeted towards the Black community. We have to stand and fight and help for them.
Yeah. And I just want to say too, recently, I mean, this always has been a thing, but especially now, during the midst of this pandemic and everything, that the Asian community has really been hit with a lot of attacks from all different sides, because for some reason, people are thinking that this is the Asian community's fault that this has happened, but no, history can show you plenty of times that infections come from all parts of the world. But I think also because of media too, it really highlights it in such a negative way. And we should also be, supportive of that as well, and tell people like, no, like what you're doing is wrong and it's ignorant.
Right.
And I'm not gonna lie, like I also need to do my part as well. Like it's because, being vocal at times comes with contradictions. You always have people that, try to say, oh, why are you, being so loud about it when they're not loud about us? Or why are you so loud about it when they don't even care about you? And the thing is, it's not even that.
Right.
It doesn't matter if they care about you or not, because it's not something we should take personally. It's a human right. Like you have
it's a give and take.
Yeah, it's a give and take.
It's like if you're only helping people so that you can get some benefit over it, are you like really truly helping that person? Yeah. And like the Bible talks about this, like we were deserving of punishment. Like we were deserving of sin in our judgment. And God's completely holy, completely righteous. And he had every right to condemn us into hell because we disobeyed him. Mm-hmm. But what did he do? He had mercy upon us. He had grace upon us, and he saved us, and he showed us his loving kindness, favor towards us that we didn't deserve. So as a church, I'm just really confused. We should know what it's like to have help, and even though we don't deserve.
As well.
Yeah, to be oppressed. We should know how it's like, to feel that way. So if anything, we should be the first people out there, like helping them out and, serving the people. Yeah. So I just really hope that this challenges us to really get involved in social justice in the right way and really help those who are going through a lot. God is the God of all people, all skin colors, all nations.
He created them.
Right. So we have to be there for our people. We have to start showing love in a world that is growing cold towards each other. Our next segment is Young and New, and in our topic today, we're going to talk about friends. How many of us have fun?
Ew, LOL, stop.
LOL. Okay, yeah, so friends. And this is a topic that me and Aram discuss a lot because friends, are friends.
Yeah.
They can be a lot, So, what is a friend?
When Enya and I, we were having this conversation about what friends are, I was like, well, actually it changes. Mm-hmm. The definition of friend definitely changes. From when you're small, you're like, okay, I like you, you like me, let's be friends type of thing.
Yeah.
But like as you get older, like the meaning of friendship changes, because I feel that you have different requirements for what a friend is. Because when you were younger, it's like, okay, we both like each other, we both like the same things, or we both have the same birthday, right. So let's be friends, But then, as you get older, it's like, okay, you don't need to have the same birthday as me to have friends, but we probably have a common interest in something, or we happen to see each other often or hang out often. And then I feel like as you get, even older, it's a lot more things. Like we don't even have to see each other, right. Or, have the same birthday or anything to be friends. It's more than that. So like the friendship definitely changes as you get older, but it's also like the requirements as well. Like what require you as a friend.
And then also too, like as you get older, you don't really got time for like foolishness, or that's what I've discovered. You know, like I need people who are really gonna be with me and like really help me towards, you know, my purpose in my life. So like friends should definitely complement you. They should be on the same page. You know, they should be going where you're going. You know, you should be seeing like this.
We see each other.
We really see each other. And that's how you know like who's with you or not. Like she's definitely right. How you define friends definitely changes as you get older, as you start learning things, as you start experiencing new things. And for me, what I personally discovered is that just because we vibe doesn't mean we're friends. Because I've definitely vibed with a lot of people and like I was like, wow, we share the same values, we share the same interest, friends. And no, because it goes deeper than that. But like that's, you know, what has a lot of people stripped up, because they think that just because, you know, they have common interest in a few things that they're friends. And as children of God specifically, you've noticed as you get deeper in your walk with Christ, he starts separating you from people. That's what's happened to me. And it's like, what, God? You just want me to be alone? Like you don't want me to be around friends? What's happening? And it's just like God knows how much of an influence friends can have on you. Yeah. And I noticed that the friends I was having at a particular point in my life were, you know, convincing me a lot, were influencing my decisions, the way I think, the way I go about myself, the way I think about myself. And they were defining me and not God. And so when God like stripped me away from those people, it was hard. But it got me to know who I am, what I like, what I dislike, you know, my interests, my purpose. And now I'm tailoring my, you know, friends accordingly. So if you don't fit in where God has me, like we're not together. And that can be hard to do, I'm not gonna lie. It'd be really hard to do.
And also too, I would advise those who are like, you know, looking for that type of friend, because I know like it can be common in you know, our Christian life to not have many friends. And I would encourage you to like pray about your friends. Like you can do that, you know, like God, like what friends like do you want me to have, and he will show them to you. You know, it may not be when you want it, but it'll be there. And I always say this, like I have people in my life for a reason. Like the people that are in my life, the friends that I have in my life now, they're there for a reason. You know, I've always had some type of experience with them, and it's helped me become a better Christian, or vice versa, or I'm helping them become a better Christian as well. It's always interchangeably. But always pray and ask God for, you know, a friend. But sometimes, you know, you need to be alone in order to hear from him more as well. So also be mindful of that.
Friends can, like I said, be very influential towards you. And especially when God is doing something in your life, he needs your attention. He needs your focusedness. And he knows that the friends around you at that time can be a hindrance towards that. And God is so more focused on you growing in him, drawing closer to him, that he's willing to just separate you from those people. And it can be very hard too. I would like to talk about like toxic friendships, because I definitely had experience with that, and I know people can relate to that. Y'all, it can really mess up with your psyche, bruh. It can really mess up with your psyche, because you would think that this person is for you, and you can really just be in it not knowing that this is not okay. This one particular friend that I had in high school, I didn't realize it was toxic obviously in the beginning until much later in my life, but I realized that I was enabling her to be very disrespectful to me and just allowing behaviors that just were not okay. And I was like, oh, because the sake she's my friend, so I'm just gonna allow it. And I remember like another friend would come up to me and be like, yo, why do you just allow these things to happen to you? And I'm just like, well, you know, she's my friend, and it's not all the time. You know, you just make excuses for it.
Yeah, you become complacent.
You become complacent because you're not aware of that toxic behavior, you know? And then I realized I had to like not allow this anymore. And I remember going to college, you know, a moment happened and we just stopped talking. stopped. And I was always thought, like, what was the abruption for? Like, that abrupt stop talking. And, you know, the Lord was just speaking to me, like, you know, she just was not where you were going. Like, she was just not on the same page as where you were going. And something I want to mention too is that you can have the same experiences with different people. If you don't address those issues in your heart, in yourself, you'll continue to meet the same people over and over again. And I didn't realize that until very recently that I was experiencing the same situation, just with a different face. So it's so important, y'all, like, to be mindful of your company, to be mindful of who you surround yourself with, because they can really be a great hindrance to your life. And just surrender to the Lord. I know it's not easy, and it can be very lonely. I'm not gonna, like, sit here and be like, it was fabulous, you know, just letting myself. No,
it's definitely hard. And sometimes too, like, the people that God will remove you from are the people that are closest to you.
Like that.
And that is not trying to, like, scare y'all into be like, you know, no. But obviously it was through prayer, you know, you reveal that. But yeah, sometimes it be the ones closest to you, like, and you're not alone in that. Even God himself, Jesus, had that. We know Jesus.
You want to talk about toxic friends? You want to talk about betrayal? Jesus know all about that.
He do.
He had 12. One literally sold him for some 30 pieces of silver.
Yeah.
And then one denied him 3 times.
And another one doubted him. So, you know, he knows about that. And don't act, like, not don't act, but, like, don't feel that you're alone in that, or right now you're probably in the season of loneliness. Don't see it as loneliness. See it as a way for God, way for you to hear from God more.
Right.
You know, so, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely an opportunity for you to hear from God. It clears your mind. It really does. Of all that clutter.
Humbling.
It's very humbling. Yeah. It's very humbling.
Because you get rid of that, like, pompous attitude, feeling like, oh, sometimes you feel like, oh, you know, I don't need them. You know, I'm on my own journey and type of thing. Like, no, like, God can humble you and be like, you know, you're not better than anybody else. Oh, story time. I actually had a time when I was talking to Enyo, and I was like, you know what? Like, I'm done with this person. Like, we already did that. Like, you know, we're good.
Yeah.
But then God was telling me, like, a verse. I believe it was Galatians 6. Somewhere in Galatians 6. And it talks about, don't think that you're better than anyone else. You're not that important. I was like, I was like, God, I was not trying to project that, but he was like, no, you were, and you need to humble yourself. And, you know, I obviously repented and everything, but that was like a good, like, reminder, like, you are not better than anyone else. You know, everybody is on their journey. Just because, you know, your sin is different from theirs, that doesn't mean that you're better than them. Like, because we're all dealing with sin at the end of the day. You know, like, don't think that you're better than anybody else. And also, as you're helping them, they help you too. So friends can definitely be beneficial in that way. If you're struggling with I don't think, you know, this friend is the one, or stuff like that. What are you doing yourself that is pushing you away from your friends? Because sometimes you think it's God, but other times it really be you.
And then lastly, just want to say, if you are someone where you're in a season right now where you don't have that many people around you, God has revealed to you that you need to stay away from certain people, certain friends, like, I really encourage you to get in community, because the devil likes to capitalize on this moment and try to think that you should be alone, should be isolated, and, you know, try to get you into thinking a lot of things are not true. So it's so important to find community, y'all. It's so important. Like, there's, like, if you have TikTok, you have social media, there's Christian communities out there that you can join, group chats, group meetings, whatever you need to do to get involved, and, you know, find people who are going through the things that you're going through too, and then you can find solace in that. and God can use them to help and build you. So like, don't just stay alone just because, oh, God doesn't want me to hang out with people. Okay, he doesn't want you by yourself.
Yeah.
You know, he just wants you around better people. So definitely get into community. Try to find people who are going where you're going. So